Alright, I wanted to get on here and tell a funny story because I have no better idea on a video. So I figured, because I was thinking, I have a laundry list, an actual list in my phone of funny stories I can tell. And I figured it would be a great time to talk about the time I was hoodwinked into being the Easter Bunny for an elderly retirement home. So, this was last Easter, so like a year ago, and my aunt, for reference, for context, she works at a retirement home. So I walk in. I was mowing the grass, you know, real tiring shit. Really harnessing the blue collar worker in me, you know. And I walk in, and my mother, seeing that I'm tired, is like, this is a perfect time to fuck with him. And was like, hey, do you want to have lunch with your aunt at her job? And I was like, you know what? I haven't seen my aunt in a minute. You know, I'll do it. I'll go for it. And she said, oh, okay, good. Well, first you're gonna have to be the Easter Bunny for all of the old people. And I couldn't believe my ears. I couldn't believe it. It really do be your own people. She got me. And frankly, I deserved it for trying to be a good nephew. So, you know, I go through all 5 stages of grief. I'm in denial. I'm in anger. I'm wrathful. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, Mom. I'm not doing that. And then I finally get to acceptance, and I'm like, okay, fine. I guess I'm doing this. And so the day comes. Hey, my aunt gave me the wrong directions. I was on the other side of the city. I was on the complete wrong side of the city, and she sent me to some kind of indoor golf area, like indoor golf establishment, and I called her, yo, what are you doing? Where am I? Like, why did you send me here? It looks like I'm about to get fucking robbed. I'm about to get burgled over here. Like, I'm about to get mugged at knife point. It looked real shady over there. So she gives me the right address. You know, I boot scoot and boogie on over, and I'm looking around, waiting for all the old people to come out of their hovels, their rooms. That business is not a good business whatsoever, from everything I've heard about them. Yeah, that's a whole can of worms there. But I'm, you know, seeing all the old people come in, and then my aunt is like, all right, it's time for you to, fuck was that guy doing? Why was he off-road? Oh, okay. And she was like, all right, it's time for you to don your costume, your armor to go into battle. And I throw on the costume, of course, in her office, and it is the most stuffiest, hottest. I think there was like a nuclear reactor in that thing's helmet that made it 50 degrees hotter than every other area around it. So I'm already dying. First thing, it like draws the breath out of me. First things first. And so I'm out there. All right, post-recording Logan here. I completely forgot that I had photos of this event and of me in my getup. So I'll throw up the picture of me in the Easter Bunny costume right now. Just so for more context on how ridiculous I looked and just how hot this thing looked, and not in like a sexy way. I know I pulled it off really good, but in like a temperature-wise, it was fucking hot. You know, I'm saying hi, I'm giving candy to all the old people, and one of them susses me out immediately. I hand him some Easter eggs, and he goes, he like grabs my arm and leans in real close, and he goes, I know you're not the Easter Bunny. And of course I can't say anything because I don't sound like the fucking Easter Bunny. So I just shook my head. My aunt, I was looking desperately at my aunt to get me out of this little sticky wicket I found myself in. And she was not offering me a helping hand whatsoever. So I managed to break away from that dude, you know, hit him with a judo chop to the throat, move on to the next one. And this lady, this purple shirt lady, these old people, they all had like dementia or Alzheimer's, really sad shit. Like I'm not grilling them or anything. Like it's not their fault. But she was a freaky old granny. But, you know, I handed her candy. You know, I actually circled back around because I ran out of people to give the candy to. So there were only like 10 residents there and their families, and their families didn't want any candy. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just twiddle my thumbs, you know, do nothing. And I'm sitting, it's hot. It is so hot in there. I don't know why they didn't turn the AC on or anything. And I'm dying. I have heat stroke of the 3rd degree. And then they finally bring out the food, which I don't know why. I was just the main event. I was the main event for like 20 minutes, a solid 20 minutes of everybody just looking at me silently, no music, no nothing. And so they roll out the food. I just have to sit. My aunt pulled me over this like a chair. It was the saddest looking throne, but it was mine, and I got to take a seat. So I was happy about that. And you know, they're handing out food, and at the end of the line was me. That's where my throne was, at the very end. So that because they were serving cafeteria style, so they just walk up and their families are like, all right, what do you want? And they give them their food. And so I was at the end of that, and they were lining up to take pictures with the Easter Bunny. So these old people are all it was the cutest shit ever. They were so excited to see me. I don't regret doing this whatsoever. It was fantastic. I would do it again in a heartbeat, because they were very happy and very excited, and it made it all worth it. But that purple shirt lady, oh my god, she leaned in and she went, I don't have a bra on. And I was gobsmacked. I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say, quite frankly. I was dumbstruck. I was like, I need an adult. I'm out. Like, I can't do this anymore. So my aunt gets her away from me, and so she's like, all right, Easter Bunny, you want to go eat you some food? So I graciously take the food. It was not good food. I didn't really enjoy it. It was not worth it. I didn't even get to eat lunch with my aunt. I just showed up and my aunt was also there. That's the extent of the lunch with my aunt that I had. And I'm trying to cool off in her office with my helmet off, with the mascot face off. And it was so hot, and the food was like room temperature. They had those little like tea candles under the thing, so it kept it like slightly warm. But yeah, so then I go out and I'm giving them all candy again because I have so much candy. I had so much candy I couldn't even think of ways to get rid of all of it. And so they all start trickling out, you know. The old dude from earlier, the one that sussed me out immediately, he was on my case. From what little I could see through that mascot mask, he was just mean mugging me the whole time. And I think it was his son, he looked a fair bit younger than him, but even he looked like he should be in the home. Like, that's how old these people were. Like, they were the cutest old people ever, though. even he was like, yeah, I don't think you're the Easter Bunny either. And I'm like, dude, please, please, I'm trying my best. I'm like hopping around and shit, like I'm doing my best to sell the part. And that old guy is just not buying it. And so then my aunt waves me over to go sit down in my throne from earlier and just sit there. And then I have to pull the raffle, like they had a lottery raffle ticket type deal, and I had to pull the things for those, and then after everyone I had to like dance around and act very excited and then bring their gifts over to them, all while hopping, all the while. And then I was just done. I went into the office, changed, said my farewells to everybody, and then actually several of the family members saw me, and they were all thanking me, and I was like, yeah, anytime. Like I'd do this a million times over, because it was very wholesome and sweet. But some of the workers were like, oh wow, you have some real long luxurious hair there. Like they were kind of hitting on me, and I'm like, ma'am, I need you to give me 2 steps. Like you need to back away. And then, I wrestle my way out of there, and then my aunt is like, all right, thanks, bud. See ya. And I haven't seen my aunt since then. So all in all, I'd do it again. Oh fuck, I just crashed. One time I crashed in this video. Okay. I'd do it again in a heartbeat, though. It was great. Good experience, good lore, made a good story. Yeah, so that was the time I was a mascot. I got hoodwinked into being a mascot. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.